So I want to talk about FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act. FCRA is Regulation V like Victor. V like Victor. If you remember from this morning, I told you to remember a couple of things. ECOA is Regulation B, and it's about a credit application. FCRA is Regulation V like Victor, and it's about a credit report. You should remember that FCRA is the one about a credit report if you know what FCRA stands for. Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's V as in Victor. You want to have a very good credit report. It's all about credit reporting agencies, and it says that according to FCRA, we have 5 rights as a consumer. We have the right to get a denial letter in writing. They can't just call and say, yeah, Trish, we looked at it, but nah, not going to work. What would I have to dispute? It would be their word against mine. FCRA says they have to put it in writing, and they have to give me the reason why they're denying me in writing in case I want to dispute it. So what law says that if you're denied, you must get an adverse action notice in writing? FCRA. So if you have a right to receive a copy of your credit file / credit report. Don't get it wrong because they call it a credit file instead of a credit report. Same thing. You can get it for free under FCRA. There are some conditions, but we're going to talk about what those are. The next one says you have a right to receive your score. But note, the score is not free. And this is where people want to argue with me. And that's when I tell you, number one, make sure you're answering what they're asking. Did it say a free copy of your credit score or a free copy of your credit report? The report is free. The score is not free. But I know some companies that do give free scores. That wasn't the question. The question is what law, what rule, what regulation states that they must give you a free score? There isn't one. If some companies want to do it as an incentive, that's up to them. But that wasn't the question. The question said what regulation says that they must give it to you for free. There isn't one. There are regulations that say that they have to give you free credit reports, but there are no regulations that say that they have to give you free credit scores. So read it. And you would get that question wrong because all you read was, what law says you can get a free copy of your credit? And you didn't even read. Did it say report or did it say score? One of the number one questions that people get wrong on my exams, and when I asked them about it, they were like, but it said report. And I'm like, no, it didn't. It said score. You have to read it. And you can't go too fast, especially on the real test. You have a right to dispute incomplete or negative information. You look at your credit report and be like, I wasn't 30 days late on my target. What are they talking about? What law says you can dispute it? FCRA. And limit pre-screen offers. You get pre-screen offers that say you've been pre-approved for this, you've been pre-approved for that, and then you apply for it and you wonder why they denied you. If you want to limit getting those pre-screen offers, you write your credit reporting bureaus and tell them you don't want to receive those. But you should really know that you haven't been pre-approved. You've been pre-screened. You've been pre-approved to apply. Not pre-approved, pre-approved to apply. See, at the credit reporting agencies, they have your file as poor, fair, excellent. If you're fair or excellent, then people can look at your credit without looking at your credit and say, oh, they have fair credit. Let me send them these offers. Those are you're not pre-approved. You're pre-approved to apply. Then once you apply, then they get to see your credit information and be like, oh, no, you can't give it to them for whatever reason. But if you don't even want to be tempted, you can, because of FCRA, say, I don't want to be approved to receive any pre-screened offers. Then you won't even be tempted. Okay? Now, according to FCRA, any entity that uses your credit report and they deny you, they have to give you the name, address, and phone number of what credit reporting agency they use. So this is how this question went. What law, is always going to come back to this, or what rule or what regulation states that if you have been denied, that entity must give you the name, address, and phone number of the credit reporting agency they use to make that decision? Well, FCRA says they have to give you that information. Now, FCRA, I told you can get a free copy of your credit report, but there are some conditions to get it free under FCRA. You have to know what law that has conditions and what law does not. FCRA has conditions. You can receive a free copy of your credit report under FCRA if there's negative information and you got denied. You can receive a free credit report under FCRA if you've been the victim of identity theft, if you've been the victim of fraud, if you're on public assistance, Social Security, disability, child support, all of those I talked about, or if you're unemployed. If one of these things are not your reason, you cannot get a free copy of your credit report under FCRA. So let me tell you what I said and what I didn't say. I didn't say you couldn't get a free copy of your credit report. And people tell me that all the time. Yes, you did. No. I said, if one of these are not your reasons why you need a free copy of your credit report, you can't get it under FCRA. Find out the other law that would allow you to get it. But these are the only 4 reasons you can get it under FCRA. Do you guys get that? FCRA only allows you to receive a free copy of your credit report if information resulted in a denial, if you've been a victim of identity theft, if you had inaccurate information because of fraud, if you're on public assistance, or if you're unemployed. If one of these are not your situation, you cannot get a free copy of your credit report under FCRA. Find another law that would allow you to get it for free. FCRA says negative information stays on your credit report for 7 years. Bankruptcies, 10 years. Criminal convictions do not expire. Criminal convictions do not expire. Unpaid tax liens stay on your credit report forever. Paid tax liens stay on your credit report for 7 years. Now, you have to know the information you need for the test and the information you need for real world. About a year ago, and someone brought this to my attention, and I'm like, it still doesn't make a difference for the test. The credit reporting bureau agencies were sued, and they're trying to make them not put tax liens on your credit report at all. That has nothing to apply with this test. For the purpose of this test, unpaid tax liens stay on there forever. Paid tax liens 7 years. And someone write me, well, they can't put tax liens on your credit report per legislation, blah, 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 blah. For the purposes of the exam, and unpaid tax liens stay on your credit report forever. I'm not going to argue. I didn't make the law. I'm just telling you what it is to pass the test. When they let us know that has changed on the exam, then we'll change it. But for right now, unpaid tax liens forever, paid tax liens 7 years. Make sense? Must limit access to a credit file only to those with a legitimate business need. When you guys get approved, you're going to be able to pull credit. All your family, friends, uncles, kids, they're going to want you to pull their credit. I need to get a car. I need to apply for this. Can you pull my credit so I can know what it is before? You can't do that. You have to have a legitimate business need. Okay? It's a big fine. My daughter just got married 2 months ago. I wanted to pull his credit so bad. But I couldn't. I'm not going to lose my license over that. And I'm telling her, you should know. And she's like, Mom, you're just going too far. But I didn't have a legitimate business need. He was not applying for anything with me that would require me to have access to his credit report. The other thing you guys should know, this is not a test thing, but just a thing you should know, you cannot give them their credit report. And people get so mad. But I paid you $35 for my credit report. No, you paid $35 for me to have access to your credit report to make a lending decision. If they want a copy of their credit report, they have to write to one of the 3 credit bureaus. But it is a violation of FCRA for you to hand them a copy of their credit report.